by no means am I an expert on doing this, but and the way I do it, you may have another way that you would do it. I will tell you this, I don't work for Vintage Trailers, okay? Although Steve supports our Scotty groups, and there's lots of nice gifts that they have sent down in our prize tent that we'll have tonight after the potluck dinner. So he's very supportive of the groups, and mostly all the supplies that we have, actually everything I get from Vintage Trailers to rebuild my windows, because he has all the gaskets that you need. Before I forget, there's cards here that you can take one of these or a couple if you want, and there's even some, Steve even sent some 10% discount things. Take them and with you, and it has their website, their phone number. You can call them. You can go online and look at all their products and everything. But first of all, I guess we'll start with the removal of the window and some of the things that you encounter. And we were just talking. This is one of the first things you'll possibly encounter with the square drive screws that they may have had in there, and you can't get them out. Okay, these are commonly called a square drive or Robertson. There's a 1 and 2. There's 2 different size bits for the 1 and the 2, and that fit in there. You'll get into a situation where they rust in there, water lays in there and rust, and you can't get the screw out. You know, and somebody says, "Well, I can't get it," and then you can't get a pair of pliers around there. The easy way out, and if you're going to do a restoration, is a Dremel, and all I do is create my own screw slot. Create my own screw slot, take my screwdriver, and unscrew my screw. It's the simplest way, and you encounter tons of these, you know, if you're doing a Scotty rebuild where they're rusted out. So just make your own slot with the Dremel. These things are great, especially the cordless ones, you know, because you don't have that. Some of them had that cable, and they're a little bit more cumbersome to use, but the cordless ones are great, you know.
Hey Tom,
so
I know a lot of, like, an old mechanic told me getting the headlight screws with Phillips screws, I don't know if it would work on those, like valve grinding compound. You dip the screwdriver tip in that, and it sort of gets some grit so it doesn't slip.
Yeah, you can sometimes. Sometimes that works too. Yeah. There's all kind of different tricks. That's the simplest and easiest one, and I've had them where they were actually broke off the side of half the screw head, and I was able to make another slot in it and get the screw out, you know.
Yeah, the one other thing to mention is you don't care that you're trashing the original screw because you're going to replace it with stainless steel.
But, you know, generally you'll have the square heads across the top, and then your other screws to take your windows out. This crank is stripped here, but brought an old window with me, and your other screws are hidden underneath the base gasket. So when you pull the gasket, you'll see that actually there's a screw left in there. I had these windows upstairs. Screws there, there's one there, be one there, one in the middle, another one here. So you just move that back, take these screws out, and then your window's ready to come out. And then I just use a stiff blade putty knife and just kind of push it down in between the aluminum and the putty, and it'll loosen everything out, and the window will actually just fall right out. Okay. So now you've got the window out, and you're ready to start your disassembly process. One of the big things is that people don't realize that these windows can come apart in 2 pieces. We need to take, first of all, we need to take the crank mechanism out, and that just has 2 Phillips screws that hold the crank in. Take them out. Well, that one came right out. There is in this track, there's a glide that runs in here. It's a little nylon glide, and again, I'm not endorsing Vintage Trailer Sales, but they do sell all the parts. These are brand new nylon glides. They bend in half, and this little stub goes through the hole, and it snaps in like this. And you'll notice a wide area in the center track. That's where this goes in here, and it'll slide in there. I put a little bit of, you can put Vaseline in there. Sometimes I use wheel bearing grease. Just put a little bit, it just gives it a little bit of the slide in, you know. But once you have the crank out, there's little tabs on each end of these windows right here. All you have to do is take a little straight blade screwdriver like this, lift up on that tab a little bit, and now you got two windows. It makes it a lot easier handling. You know, you can work with it a lot easier this way, and you can clean it better, really. You know. Then you got this base gasket here, and these simply pull right off. They put a little mastic on this side here. You see this stuff here. I use 3M super weather strip adhesive. Just put a little bit of that when I replace this gasket. But I usually take these and throw them in the garbage can. You know, you can try and reuse them, but if you're going to go to all the work of rebuilding a window, put a new gasket in. You know, the new gaskets. These are the new gaskets from again, vintage. You know, they're a reproduction of the original gasket. Same thing, but it's more resilient. You know your window's going to seal a lot better. But I usually pitch those. Then you got your screen, and now these are the old windows that we're talking about here, the rounded ones. The only thing that holds this aluminum on here, this aluminum screen, is it's bent underneath here. There's no screen bead or anything like some of the other windows, and really all you do is, I just rip it off, you know, and usually save the aluminum screening because I save aluminum. And